Hello everyone, Jessica here and welcome back to my channel. It is time to start making some Christmas cards. So welcome to my first Christmas card series. This is card number 1. So what I have here is the Lawn Fawn Gingerbread Dies. I forgot the name of it. But this set has so many small little tiny pieces. I put them in this magnetic dish. So after I die cut all those, luckily they give you enough to where you can just run them through once and you're good to go. You don't have to run those little armbands or anything through like 4 times because that's crazy. I went ahead and cut those gingerbread silhouettes out of white cardstock and some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock, because I'm going to layer the white behind the craft color. And I saw this on actually Lawn Fawn's YouTube channel where they were demonstrating these dies. She had flipped the gingerbread silhouettes upside down, cut the face dies backwards. That way you didn't get the impression of the die on the front of your little gingerbread man or girl. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. So I went ahead and did that. And it did work. There was only a few imprints from the die cutting plate on the gingerbread people. You could easily score that out with your bone folder if you wanted to. I just left them because I'm going to ink it over. So I don't think you can really see them. And I'm going to start inking these. I'm using tea dye, Distress Oxide ink. And I went ahead and uncovered my glass media mat. I have the glass media mat, which I love. I love working on it. But I only have one area on my desk to put these kinds of mats. And I tried to just leave the glass media mat there. But I can't stand having my arms on it, especially when it's cold. It's kind of weird. Maybe I'm just weird. But so I put a silicone non-slip thing on top of it. And then I put on my other self-healing mat. So in case you're wondering. So I'm going to start assembling these little gingermen. I've already layered the white piece behind so you can see those cute little faces. And I'm going to assemble the male one first. I wanted his bow tie to be red, so I grabbed a couple Copics and just adhered it to him. And then I can start adding those bands, those white bands. I think I added these super high on his legs and arms, but that's okay. It works. And I definitely am very thankful to have these tweezers to do all this, because that would be kind of a pain to have to do this without those tweezers. And then just a few finishing touches with some buttons, which I'm going to cover anyways, but oh well. And then I can start on the girl. With the girl, I did mess up on her cheek. I got it a little too low and then had to peel that up and position it a little higher. So I'm going to use this alligator clip extension tool. It just has a piece of that foam that you use with the ink blenders. I'm going to dab some more ink over the top of that to kind of hide it a little more. Alright, so now we're going to move on to some mass production of sentiments. I'm using the Lawn Fawn Simply Winter Sentiments. This is a kind of an older set, but it just has some great, simple, basic Christmas holiday sentiments that you can kind of build your own. So I have 3 different colors of cardstock, and they're all going to have their own little sentiment. That's part of a large sentiment. So I have green apple, I think it's green leaf, and then the teal one. I'll have the list of all the names down below. For some reason, I can't remember those right now. But I'm placing the stamps at the very bottom of the cardstock because that's easiest for me to get those sentiments pretty straight. And then using some Simon Says Stamp Clear Embossing ink, Ranger White embossing powder, and of course the Embossing Buddy before anything. That way embossing powder doesn't stick everywhere. And then I can heat emboss all those all at one time. And then I'm going to trim up these sentiments a little bit. And they're just going to be strips. I've been really loving this colored strip look lately. So far I haven't gotten enough of it. So just so y'all know, you might be seeing this a lot more. I just think it looks really cool, especially with those 3 different colors. This card is basically going to be red, green, and teal. So those are my favorite colors. Those are kind of the colors of my entire house. Maybe not so much the lime green, but during Christmas time, there's a bunch of lime green and more red around. So I took a MFT Wonky Rectangle Die and a Lawn Fawn Rectangle Die and combined them to create that black frame. And then I'm using some old Christmas paper. This is a 6x6 paper. I think I lost the cover to it, so I'm not sure what brand it is either. I'll see if I can't find it and I'll link it below. But it's just a great diagonal red and white stripe. Pretty common. You could do this with stencils nowadays. I just like it. It's very Christmassy and festive. So now I'm going to cut some black fun foam. I have been doing this a lot lately too, but I'm just going to cut strips of it and then adhere those behind the frame. That way the frame is popped up a little bit. And I like using the black foam. That way you don't see anything on the edges. I'm using my gigantic acrylic block to make sure that those are adhered down flat. Now I'm going to start popping these foam dots onto the little gingerbread men. And I use a lot of these. I have another pack. It's another one of those things that I've had for a while, so I might as well use it. I probably use more than I should have. And I use the large circles and the small circles, so little overkill there, I think. I'm going to use the multi-medium matte glue again to adhere that frame with the black foam on it to that red and white diagonal stripe. And again, I stand up for this just so I can try to get centered, which didn't work, but luckily I had that liquid glue on it so I could kind of move it around just a little more, trying to get it as centered as possible. And now I have to take off all those backing papers on those foam dots. That took a long time. I'm going to adhere the little male gingerbread first, and then the female one, which I did mess up on her. I had her too far to the left, so I had to peel her up and then move her over a little more, so she was a little more centered. She was like trying to escape the card. All right, so now I'm going to adhere a piece of white 80-pound cardstock to a piece of white fun foam. I meant to use black cardstock, not white cardstock, so. And then I had even a better idea, so I used the cutout from the middle of that frame, and I'm going to stick that piece to the white cardstock with the white fun foam, and it's going to look like a Polaroid. The bottom will have that thicker band, so I thought that was kind of fun. It looked like a Polaroid. And now I'm going to take those sentiments that I had cut down and cut them down a little more. That way they could be situated. I left that until I had everything kind of figured out because I didn't really know how long the ends would need to be on these. So I just based it off of that first light colored green cardstock and then cut it down from there. And I really like how this turned out. I think it looks super cute. But of course, you got to add some extra stuff to this. So I have these black gems. They have sticky adhesive on the back. We used these for that get together that I had with my sister. If you watch my Instagram, you probably saw some stuff about that. But so these are some leftover gems that I'm using for his buttons because I wanted to bring in some more black. And then I'm also going to add some Stardust stickles to their little armbands and leg bands. The frosting. That way it's glittery. And I used stickles earlier today on some Christmas tags that I had made. I already had the bunch of stickles out, so I haven't used these in forever, but it was a lot of fun and they are very glittery. And then I'm going to go through with some glossy accents and put some on their hair and on the red bow tie and the red little hearts, and just to add some shine there. And that is it. That's it from me. So I hope you enjoyed this little Christmas card, and thank you for watching my Christmas card series. Stay tuned for some more Christmas cards, and I appreciate you all watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. You can connect with me on Instagram or email me directly, or comment below with any questions you might have about card making. I will always do my best to help. All the products I used today are linked on my blog and help support new products and supplies for this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to see the latest videos from me. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.